Playboy, an EXO fanfiction by Nat Chan. Chapter 1, New Beginnings. Min's point of view. "Hey Min, you've got mail," my flatmate shouted. I sleepily walked over to the kitchen, heading straight for the coffee machine. I really need to stop with the late-night drama binges. After I turned the coffee machine on, I turned around to find my flatmate right behind me, with this creepy grin on her face. Sue, what are you doing?" She held out an envelope which she was holding behind her back and handed it to me. "A letter came from you, from SN Entertainment?" At first I thought she was just joking, but then I noticed the emblem on the bottom right-hand corner and started squealing. I ripped open the envelope as fast as I could and scanned the letter to see what it said. I wanted this job so badly. It would be such a good way to make a name for myself. "So, did you get it? Did you get it?" Subin asked me, jumping up and down. "Yep, I'm officially a personal assistant for EXO." We hugged each other tightly, both of us excited. "No way! That's amazing! Does it say who you're an assistant for?" I read the letter in more detail, and then my happy mood drops a little. "Ugh, the bratty Magne Sihun," I sigh. "What are you complaining for? He is a fine piece of ass." "True, but a flirtatious piece of ass. I was hoping to have someone who's less of a player. Like Chin." "There's no pleasing you, is there? Any girl would jump at the chance to be within 5 feet of Sihun practically 24 hours a day." "I guess. Well, at least he's no Kai. I would have to turn up to work looking like a nun every day if I was his assistant." My roommate hit me playfully on the head and gave me a freshly brewed cup of coffee. "You should turn down the sass slightly too, you know." I rolled my eyes but took her comment on board. As much as I don't like being someone I'm not just to please people, I don't want to lose my first job. "When did your job start anyway?" On April 10th at 9 in the morning, I said casually while eating breakfast. My roommate, however, was not so calm. She looked at the clock and then back at me, her eyes extra wide. "Isn't that in 45 minutes? I turned my phone on and realized she was right. The SM Entertainment building itself is an hour and a half away. I ran to my room and threw on the only decent clothes I had, which were clean, did my hair, and decided not to even bother with makeup, as I just threw in my bag instead, with the idea of doing it later. I slid on my shoes, deciding to go for flats since I was probably going to be doing a lot of running. I grabbed my jacket and bag, and then ran out the door, shouting goodbye to Subin on the way out. "Annyeong!" This was definitely not the way I wanted to start the first day of my first ever job as a personal assistant at SME, even if it was for Sehun. Sehun's point of view. I don't usually wake up feeling this excited for work, but today was definitely one I'd been looking forward to. Manager Hong told us a little while back that we'd be getting our own personal assistants, and I could not be more happy. This basically means a permanent fuck buddy, and it doesn't just have to be my own personal assistant. For this reason, all 10 of us are sitting in the meeting room, watching the clock and waiting for it to hit 9. "I bet mine will be really hot and into fashion like me," Tao announced, which caused a few of the Hyung line to roll their eyes. "I hope mine has a kind heart," Chin commented. "Stupid fairy Chin mother with all of his values. I bet he's still a virgin." Just then, there was a knock on the door, and we all sat up straight and fixed our hair to look presentable. Manager Hong opened the door, and in walked a stunning girl with a really nice taste in fashion. "Hello, everyone. My name is Jinwoo. I'm supposed to be the personal assistant for Suo Young." The lucky fucker. Of course, that's who he would get. He got up from his seat and strode over to her with a big grin on his face. "Lovely to meet you, Jinwoo. Let's get to know each other." She gave a little bow and then followed him to the corner of the room, where they began to talk. We knew we were all staring at him, but he didn't give a damn. We were too busy being jealous of Suo that none of us realized another girl had stepped into the conference room. Hi, I'm supposed to be the personal assistant of Dio? We all gave her the once-over, and I could already feel myself getting half-mast. Damn, those tits are wasted on Dio. He wouldn't know what to do with them. He just smiled at her and was all chivalrous and led her over to have a chat, too. Mine better be fucking perfect, or I'll be really pissed. I don't want to have some girl who's nothing to look at. After about 10 minutes, everyone's chatting to their personal assistants, but me. They all seemed happy, especially Tao, because his came in carrying a Gucci bag from the latest collection, so he was over the moon. Ah! Someone screamed, causing all of us to turn our heads. There was a girl who had walked in and for some reason fallen on the floor. I prayed and prayed that she wasn't my personal assistant. Please. She didn't have long flowing hair like the rest of them, nor did she have big boobs like Dio's or a fantastic ass like Kai's. She looked too quirky. Just my luck. I'm Min, and I'm supposed to be Sehun's personal assistant? Well, fuck me. Chapter 2. Getting to know you. Sehun's point of view. I hate being the Magne. It's so shitty. Everyone else got hot, sexy girls with long hair, but me. Well, except for Minso, but the girl he got is just as weird as him, so it's a perfect match. My personal assistant, whose name is apparently Min, doesn't have a petite frame like the girls I'm used to seeing around the SM building. Don't get me wrong, she wasn't fat. Manager Hong wouldn't never hire anyone like that, but she's not slight like the rest of them. And she's tall, too, even in flats. Was this really the best Manager Hong could give me? Hi, Min, I'm Chin, but you can call me Jongdae. Don't worry about Sehun. He's just in a mood today, he assured her. I took a deep breath and then went forward to approach her. I should at least give her a chance. She's not ugly, just unconventional. Hello, Min. It's a pleasure to meet you. I greeted her with a formal bow. Let's talk and get to know each other. She nodded and followed me back to my seat. I was tempted to ask her to sit on my lap, but I quickly decided against it. That would be too forward, even for me. Sorry for being late and making a fool of myself. I intend to make it up to you and be a very good personal assistant to you. Well, she seemed nice enough, and looking at her again, she did seem pretty. Maybe I judged her too quickly. Still, I had an image to maintain. Well, let's see how you do. Once Manager Hong comes back, I'll give you a list of duties which you can do for me. As I said this, our manager walked in and told us that we had the morning off and to be back at the dance studio at 1 p.m. This naturally resulted in cheers from all of the members. Some of them even started making plans to go out with their personal assistants. So do you want to go out and get some bubble tea or something? She had a hopeful glint in her eye, but I was about to crush that. She can't have me that easy. I need to make her want me first, and then maybe I'll reconsider. Yeah, I'd love some. Choco milk tea with coffee pearls. The code to get in the dorm is 7299. I'll pay you when you come back. She stood there for a bit longer, giving me a little bow, and began to walk out of the conference room. But I stopped her in her tracks. Admin? Be quick about it. She didn't turn around, but nodded slightly and walked out, leaving me with a smirk on my face. Yeah, that's right, Min. I'm not a nice guy, but if you please me, I might change my ways. Might. Min's point of view. God, he is such a brat. And there I was, acting like the good girl that I'm not. I should have popped him one right then and there. But that probably would have landed me a huge lawsuit and ruined any chance I have of getting another job again. That's why I'm running out of the SM building like some idiot trying to catch up with one of the other assistants. Annoyingly, most of them were with their members, which is what I thought, or at least hoped, Sehun would do as well. I knew he would be like this. Just as I was thinking this, I heard a voice calling after me and I turned around. Min! Min! Wait up! The person calling after me was carrying a Gucci bag, which made me think that perhaps she was Tao's personal assistant. Oh, hi, I'm sorry, I don't think I caught your name, I replied, feeling embarrassed that I didn't remember. Then again, I made quite the entrance, so it's natural for people to remember me. I really need to stop being so clumsy. Oh, don't worry about it, really. I'm Nadi Kim, Tao's personal assistant. Are you going to the bubble tea store? Bingo, I knew it. Yeah, I am. Is Taoshi not joining us? I asked, hoping that I wasn't the only one with the brat. No, he got a sudden inspiration for a rap, so he went to his room. But we'll be having lunch together with some of the others later. You gonna join us? This made me feel even more annoyed. Even the Magne of XOM, who I always thought was just as bratty as Sehun, is a decent guy. Great. I don't think I can. Sehun has me running a bunch of errands for him. I have no idea what his plans are for lunch. She looked at me sympathetically. Oh, don't worry, Minna. I'll talk to Tao for you. Taoshi and Sehun seem to be good friends. Let's go and get the bubble tea. I nodded, and off we went, talking to each other about everything and anything. Hopefully we will become good friends. I punched in the code to the EXO dorm and walked in, with Nadi following behind me. The first person we saw was Suho, who was chatting to his personal assistant on the couch. He got up and smiled at us. I can see why he's called the mama of EXO now. Hello, Minna. Narishi? He greeted with a formal bow, which made Nari blush. I was surprised, too. After all, he is an idol, and we're just assistants. The girl who is his personal assistant doesn't realize quite how lucky she is. You guys are the personal assistants for Sehun and Tao, right? We both nodded, still feeling overwhelmed by the experience. Even though I am Sehun's personal assistant, I still feel incredibly lucky. So many people would literally kill for this job. Yeah, I have his bubble tea right here. Do you know where he is? I asked. Yep, he's in his dorm room, second door on the left. I think Tao was with him. We thanked him once again for his help and went toward Sehun's room, making sure to knock first. Just give me a moment, Sehun shouted, so we waited patiently outside the room, both confused as to what was going on. Almost a minute passed until Sehun opened the door, his deadpan face changing to a smirk once he saw me. Stupid brat. Here's your bubble tea, Sehun Shi. Is there anything else you would like me to do? I asked in the sweetest voice I could muster. I felt so fake, but this is my job. Yeah, get me a lunch from the place across the street, and then you can do whatever. Great, so I wasn't going to get to even eat with him. All the other members were bonding with their assistants except Sehun. I looked at him and noticed that he was eyeing Naughty, and I felt like puking. Ush, he is such a guy. So what's a beautiful creature like you doing outside my room, then? He asked, turning his seductive voice on to the maximum. I felt like rolling my eyes, but stopped myself at the last second. Nadi, on the other hand, just looked like a bright red tomato. Yes, Suhoshi told us that Tao was in here too, she stated while walking in. Sehun tried to stop her with his hands, but he wasn't very successful. So is Taoshi in here? Oh! She covered her mouth with her free hand in shock. So I walked in to see what the fuss was about. Tao was sitting up on the bed, shirtless, and with curiously flushed cheeks. Something tells me they weren't just collaborating on a rap. I did try and warn you not to come in, Sehun said, trying to hold back his laughter. Everything is just a game to him, isn't it? No wonder he's the Mongne. Meanwhile, Tao got up from his bed and grabbed the bubble tea from Nadi, who was still blushing madly. Thank you, Nadia. Just let me go to my room and grab a clean shirt. The others are going to meet us at the restaurant, he said nonchalantly while walking out of the room. What's your name, by the way? Wow. He was actually bothering to know me. I don't think Sehun would have done the same if I wasn't his PA. I'm Min, I replied while bowing formally. This Chinese Mongne seemed all right. Why couldn't I be his personal assistant instead? Well, Min, you can join us for lunch if you want to, after you brought this brat his food, he said, making Sehun pull a face. I'd love to, thank you, I replied, and he smiled and then left. I felt pleased because it meant that I could not only make more new friends with the other assistants, but I could also find out more about Sehun and what his problem is. Hey guys, I wanted to interrupt the narration. I do apologize, but the next few sentences and paragraphs are going to be extremely smutty, and I know some of you don't like that. So if you don't like it or you're not into it or it disturbs you, just please fast forward to 1550 on this video and you'll be able to skip it. Thank you. Sehun's point of view. Once I was alone, I flopped onto my bed and sighed. Not only was Min a quirky weirdo with short hair, but also a cockblocker. I was about to get the best blowjob in weeks, but then she just had to go fucking knock on my door. I knew I shouldn't have given it to Tao first. Now I was alone in my room with a raging hard-on and no one to do anything about it. Oh well, desperate times call for desperate measures. I jumped up to the door, locked it, and lay back on my bed. Unzipping my trousers, I let myself spring free as I began to pump myself with my hands. Usually I would have given myself a bit of foreplay, but right now I was too sexually frustrated for that. With every pump, I felt myself closer. I tried my best to keep quiet, not wanting to freak out the beauty that is Suho's PA, who was probably still in the main room with him. Soon enough, I was coming, and as I did, I threw my head back and visualized Min at the end of my bed in her big glasses and wearing only my shirt. What the fuck, Sehun? What are you doing? Imagining her. I shook my head, trying to get rid of the image of Min from my mind. I got up and cleaned myself off with the tissues under my bed, but once I was done, I had nothing to do except dwell on what just happened. I couldn't understand it. I can't understand if I fantasized about Kung Su's PA. suhos, or even taos. But men? Just stop it, Sehun. Fuck. It's just a phase. It'll wear off, I told myself. But somehow, I wasn't quite believing it. Hi, my babies. I hope that you really like this story. This was actually written by one of my really good friends, Natalie, and there are, I think, 5 or 6 more chapters to this, and I'm really enjoying it. I hope that you are too, and if you liked it, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share. I would be most grateful. And just know that I love you guys, and I'm working on more content for you. Annyeong!